Are you guys ready to go 13 rounds with the king? Elvis has been called the king of rock and roll for so long that it almost seems sacrilegious to suggest anything otherwise, which is why I'm gonna do it. I hope you're here because you watched the video wherein we listened to the 13 songs that we're going to be talking about in this video. If you haven't done that, I recommend doing that. I'm gonna link to it down below. But basically the gist was, we listened to 13 songs that Elvis has performed and somebody else has performed, whether in a very similar style or whether completely differently, whether it was their song originally or Elvis's song originally or neither of theirs originally. And we voted in the chat, or at least the chat was voting on who they thought was the better performer on a given song. And I said that I would save my thoughts for a video. And so I wanted to officially give my rundown and see if Elvis reigns supreme. So we have 13 challengers, which is an odd number, which means there can be no tie. There can be no 6 and 6. Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. So we have a very simple system. We're gonna go one by one through the tracks. I'm gonna say which one is my favorite. We're gonna refer to a scoreboard. We're gonna tally it up at the end. So in order for Elvis to win this competition and thus retain his claim as the king of rock and roll and thus continue to wear his pearly crown, he needs to have 7 wins out of 13, okay? He needs to have 7. So we're gonna see if that's what's happening, okay? Is everybody ready? All right, so our first song is I Don't Care If the Sun Don't Shine, which was actually originally performed by Miss Patti Page, and then of course by Elvis over here. What I will say is that Elvis is very catchy on this one, and he's in that higher register, and he's got that Sun Records kind of echo going on there. But the instrumentation is pretty sparse. It's pretty early days in those Sun Records where there's not a lot of money behind the budget or anything like that. And I feel like the instrumentation is really where Patti Page's version shines. As well as the fact that Patti Page, the tenor of her voice is just really quickly warmed up to me, and she's very quickly becoming one of my favorite 1950s pop girlies, if that was a phrase that was being used back then. But yeah, I think overall there's a little bit more dynamism to Patti Page's version. She's got this slow build-up at the beginning, and then when the band comes in, it's nice and swinging and everything. So I'm gonna have to give this first point to Patti Page. So our scoreboard, as you can see here, you can go ahead and ignore all these numbers. What we're really paying attention to is right up above. So we've got the home team and the away team. So Elvis is down 1 at the moment. All right, so next we've got Now and Then There's a Fool Such as I, which actually was a pretty big single in 1953 for Joe Stafford. And then we've got our Elvis version over here with this kind of nice cover. I feel like the beat on this Elvis version just really gives it the upper hand. It's just too swaggy. It's got like this great guitar, these great like driving heavy snares and everything, you know? And like it comes in, we've got some of the Jordanaires coming in with that like bassy intro and everything. Like, I don't know, I think it goes over pretty well. But I will say that Joe Stafford's version is a very pretty piece of vocal pop, kind of like the Patti Page song before, where it's very nice in its own right, and like I'm happy to throw this on a playlist and listen to it regularly. But as far as these two are competing, you know, I do feel like the Joe Stafford version almost seems to overstay its welcome a little bit, and you know, the Elvis version just kicks ass. So we're gonna give that point to Elvis. So Elvis is 1 for 2 at the moment. Not too bad. He's got to get to 7. Next up, we've got Just Because, which Elvis did first on his LP, and then Brenda Lee did in 1959 at the age of like 14 or something ridiculous like that. And I will say that Just Because was never really a big hit for me, even when I first listened to this record, like for the first time. Like I said, it's just kind of that early days rockabilly sparse stuff, you know. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. He's fine on it, but I have to give the point to Brenda Lee. I mean, she has this fiery, feisty delivery, and the instrumentation is a lot more lush and just upbeat and jamming. I mean, like, and the fact that it's coming out of this like 14-year-old girl or 15 or whatever, you know. And it's a little bit shorter of a song too, so it's just like a lot of energy in a very small, compact package, very much like Brenda Lee herself. So we're gonna give that point to Brenda Lee. So right now, Elvis is 1 for 3. So we've got Trying to Get to You now, and Elvis's version of this song is in my top 5 Elvis songs of all time. The very first time that I heard this song, I'm pretty sure I was blown away, and it continues to do so to this day. I mean, the guitar on here, the passion in Elvis's vocals, the drops that come in, it's so energetic, it's so beautiful, it's so longing, it's just everything that you want in this type of bluesy rock song. And then, and then Ricky comes in, and he's very bland and very boring and very safe, but I will say that it is nonetheless still kind of pleasant, and I have to chalk that up, I think, to the songwriting. It's just solid, you know, the chords, the lyrics, the progression, it's all there. But absolutely, Elvis blows this out of the water, so we're gonna give that point to Elvis as well. So now he's got 2 for 4. Elvis is 2 for 4 now. All right, so we've got Rip It Up. I don't know who actually did this first. I should have looked that up. I mean, I know Little Richard's in the mix there too. But so we've got the Elvis version and the Bill Haley version. And I mean, Elvis's version is obviously incredible, right? Like, everybody loves his version of Rip It Up. What was interesting to me about Bill Haley's version was that it had these claps going for it, as opposed to like the hi-hats kind of affecting the drama and the tempo of the track. You know, I feel like that would just be kind of lit if you were at like the Sock Hop Ball or whatever, you know, you'd be clapping along with everybody. I could see that being really raucous and energetic and stuff. But there's this really low piano that comes in that just sounds so disgusting and dirty, and just like it doesn't contribute to the track. It absolutely detracts from it, and Elvis's version is freaking amazing. So we're definitely giving that point to Elvis. So he's not doing too bad over here. Next up, Money Honey. So this was actually originally written by Jesse Stone, I believe, for the Drifters, and then Elvis has it as the closing track on his first LP there. And they're actually pretty similar. They're pretty much like Elvis's vocal lines, and like it's basically just taken exactly from what Clyde McPhatter and the Drifters do. But the instrumentation is really interesting. Like on the Clyde McPhatter version, you know, it's going like but then on Elvis's version, it's the guitar that's really at the center and playing that guitar lick, and it's just a little bit more gritty and energetic. It just contributes a different feel to it. And then Elvis in that higher register, I think, is actually kind of compelling. The drum rolls are much more proper and sweet on Elvis's version. I actually mess with those a lot more. So despite the fact that this is their song originally, I am going to give this point also to Elvis. I don't even know how much really needs to be said about this one here. Pat Boone was a total miss. He changed some of the lyrics, maybe because he thought they were just too like dirty for him or whatever, but the sentiment of the song, the message is still the same. I don't know what he thought he was getting over on us by changing a couple of lines like that. We still know what the song's all about. It's about stepping out, right? But yeah, no, Elvis's version on here is incredible. He's got that raspiness to his voice that's only really matched by Little Richard. I mean, there's no contest. There's no contest on this one. This one's obviously Elvis. I'm not going to waste your time. What's Elvis at now? 5? Yeah, he's doing pretty good. Ready Teddy. Ready freaking Teddy. So again, obviously there is the Little Richard of it all, but we're just discussing these two here. I thought I had heard it all when it came to Ready Teddy, and hearing Little Richard's version of it and hearing Elvis's version of it, and maybe someone else as well. But man, when you hear Buddy Holly's version of Ready Teddy for the first time, it is... I don't think I've heard anything like this in the 1950s yet. The way that he approaches this track, the gutturalness, the throatiness, he's not even singing. He is not singing. Let's make no mistake about this. He is literally growling on this song. Like, if you want a more musical track, 100% go with Elvis. 100% go with the Elvis track. But this Buddy Holly track is like nothing else that you've ever heard before. He's so freaking fierce and menacing, and just like, he sounds like Randy Savage or Hulk Hogan or something like this. It's absolutely incredible. And when I am trying to turn up, this would be the version that I would go with. So I am gonna give the point to Buddy Holly. I will say, like I said, I might even listen to Elvis's version of Ready Teddy a little more, but I am gonna give it to Buddy Holly because he just goes so hard in such a way that I have not heard anybody else do. He set such a high watermark that nobody has been able to pass it yet, that I have heard. If anybody knows where I can find it, then point it out, please. All right, come on. What are we doing here? What are we even doing here? You know, it's Jailhouse Rock. right? It's Jailhouse Rock. I do just want to say though that like I didn't think anybody else would even be allowed to talk Jailhouse Rock. I didn't even think anybody else would be able to do this song, you know? And I like Frankie Lymon quite a bit, but when I threw this on, man, it sounds like a talent show or like a kid, like Kids Bop, or Now That's What I Call Music, or like, you know, like you would hear like if you went to Sam Ash or something, you would hear like a group of kids playing this at like a weekend exhibition match or something, and you'd put it on YouTube, you'd video it, and it'd go viral, and the kid would do okay. He'd probably go up on Ellen or something, but it's no match. It's no match for this Elvis version. And I do have to shout out, I gotta point out that my big bro texted me today, and he just texted me out of the blue, and he was just like, Frankie Lymon's version is better. I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. There are interesting highlights to it. It's got like a certain more melodic thing going on the hook, but you gotta give it to Elvis, man. It's Jailhouse Rock. Come on now. So we're giving the point to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The man has 6 points already. He only needs 1 more point to win. All right, this one is pretty tough. This is in the top 3 toughest, I would say. One of them was Brenda Lee, and then this is another one that I think is pretty dang freaking tough. And I honestly don't even think I have anything to really say that's like defending my position. I think this really just does come down to what your personal preference is. But I just think that the guitar work is just it just cuts a little deeper. It's just a little bluesier, and I don't know. I just like the rhythm going on with Carl Perkins' version a little more. And he also syncopates the way that he says, "Step on my blue suede shoes" on the hook, that I just find that much more compelling. It's a little bit more out of the box than Elvis's version, which is still very, very good, and obviously has its own iconography, just being the first track on the first Elvis LP. So everyone is gonna have so many memories, myself included, that are inextricably linked with this song, because for a lot of people it might have been their first time hearing Elvis. But this is a freaking competition, and we are gonna go with Carl Perkins, okay? Elvis is still at 6. He only needs 1 more to win. Will he make it on this next one? I Got a Woman. Originally I believe by Ray Charles, sampled by Kanye West for Gold Digger, which was very surprising for me to hear. I'm surprised I haven't heard more rap samples throughout these 1950s, man. What's going on there? Am I listening to the wrong stuff? Or did they just not sample the 50s? I don't know. And then we've got Elvis's version over here. This one was also pretty dang close. They're also kind of apples and oranges a little bit. And I am quite fond of Elvis's version of I Got a Woman. It's got just a good tempo, it's got a good energy to it and everything. But as everybody knows, I am quite a big fan of Ray Charles, and I do think he pulls out the win here. Those drums hit with this like weird rhythm where I don't really know how to like move my body, and then he comes in with that craziness, and he's just, you know, he just wails on the track, and he just puts so much oomph into it that I know isn't for everybody, but it is for me. And I think he pulls it out by just a hair, but I am going to give it to Ray Charles, meaning Elvis still needs 1 point to win. He might lose. He might lose this competition. I know you guys are typing in the comments saying how biased I am, how much I suck, how much I'm letting Elvis lose. We've only got 2 more tracks to go, and Elvis needs 1 more to win, all right? He only needs 1 more track to maintain his kingly supremacy over rock and roll. It's not that hard. Can he make it? Is he going to make it on this next one? No, he's not gonna make it because it's Tutti Frutti. I'm sorry. Like, Elvis's version of Tutti Frutti is fine, but it's like the equivalent. Like, this is Little Richard's Jailhouse Rock. Like, you're just not. No notes. 10 out of 10 no notes. Chef's kiss for Tutti Frutti here. You know, his wailing, it's just perfect. It's warm and gritty and like powerful. The instrumentation is the right mix of this like bluesy, just like, man, it just gets you going. Tutti Frutti. I'm cutting that. I feel like this is Little Richard, and a couple people even agreed with me in the comments. I was surprised by that. I expected most of you, and most of you were exclusively saying Elvis all the way, but a couple people did vote for Brenda Lee, and a couple of people did vote for Little Richard on this track, and I am inclined to agree on both counts. I'm gonna give this one to Little Richard, which means that there is only 1 track left. If Elvis does not clinch this very next track, he is no longer considered the king of rock and roll by these very arbitrary rules that I, a random nobody, have made up, okay? And you have to agree with it for some reason. So, it all comes down to this next track. who's gonna what's the fate of the rock and roll history here? Are you ready? Are you ready? It all comes down to Elvis's performance with the song, and I kind of forgot. Shake, rattle, and roll. Ba-dum-bow. Shake, rattle, and roll. Ba-dum-bow. Well, here's the thing about Shake, Rattle, and Roll. I threw my back out listening to Elvis's version of this track, and I was laid up for like a week, and that did not happen with Big Joe Turner's. In fact, I really like Big Joe Turner, and I'm excited to listen to more of his music, because I've only listened to the one record of his. And I just think he's got such a great voice. He's just so cool, you know? I just want to hear more of him. But when I heard this song, man, I was disappointed. I was very disappointed. It was pretty stiff and pretty underwhelming, not very energetic to me, especially in comparison to Elvis's version, which is absolutely insane and blows Bill Haley's out of the water, you know what I mean? So Elvis now has a total of 7 points. Elvis has just barely held on to that supremacy. The big takeaway here, though, is that Elvis Presley has won. That is the big takeaway here, so we can all celebrate that. Elvis Presley is gonna hang on to his title as the greatest rock and roll man to ever do it, and it's a hard-fought victory. He definitely earned it. 13 people tried to cut him down, and they were getting him there. They were getting pretty close. They were doing some work on him, but that boy got the motion, and he's fine. He's chilling. He's chilling until next time. So here, you drop this, King. There you go, buddy. And with that, I'm out of here. I'm Zakk Throwback. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Peace.